Hello, class 10th. Today we will continue with the chapter 2, the Union Executive. Today's topic is powers of the President. We will discuss the following points. So, the objectives of today's topic is executive powers, legislative powers, financial powers, judicial powers. Now we will discuss some key terms. First, individually responsible. The idea that human beings choose, instigate or otherwise cause their own actions. Number 2, prorogue. It means discontinue a session. Number 3, joint session. It means when two normally separate decision-making groups meet together for specific purpose. Number 4, annual financial statement means showing estimated receipts and expenditures of the government. Last, supplementary budget means the request for additional funds by ministries and departments during the course of the year. In the last video, we have discussed about the election procedure of the president, who participates in his election procedure, and process of impeachment. In this video, we will discuss the powers of the president. What are their functions and responsibilities? President has very vast powers like executive power, legislative powers, financial powers, judicial powers, military powers, diplomatic powers, emergency powers, discretionary powers. We will discuss these powers in detail. Now let's talk about president. President is the head of the state. He is called the first citizen of India. President's role is very important, but the real powers lies in the hands of the Prime Minister. President represents the nation but does not rule the nation. He exercises all his powers only on the advice of the Council of Ministers. He is the nominal head of the state. Let's see which powers are enjoyed by the President of India. First, executive powers. The President is the head of the executive, so he has to make many appointments to key posts to run the administration. He appoints the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers on his advice. He summons the leader of the majority group in the parliament and asks him to form the government. President is the nominal head. Actual powers lies in the hands of Prime Minister. With the advice of the Prime Minister, the President works. As the President has not real powers, so all the executive actions are taken in his name. The President appoints Prime Ministers and Council of Ministers on the advice of Prime Minister. He calls the leader of the majority party and asks him to form the government. The governors of the states. The governor of the states are appointed by the President of India for a term of 5 years and hold office at the President's pleasure. The governor is also nominal head of the state government. All its executive actions are taken in the governor's name. The lieutenant governors and the chief commissioners of the union territories. President of India is also Chief Administrator of Union Territories as per Article 239. The Lieutenant Governor and the Chief Commissioner of Union Territories are appointed by the President. In India, 5 Union Territories, namely Delhi, Puducherry, Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir and Andaman and Nicobar Islands, are governed by the Lieutenant Governor, and rest 3 Union Territories are governed by the Administrator. The Chief Justice and the judges of the Supreme Court and the High Courts. The Chief Justice is the head of the Judiciary of India and the Supreme Court of India. The Chief Justice of India and the judges of the Supreme Court are appointed by the President. Sharad Arvind Bobde is the present Chief Justice of India. The Attorney General of India. He appoints Attorney General of India. Attorney General of India is legal advisor of Government of India. The post of Attorney General is mentioned in the Constitution. At present, Attorney General of India is K.K. Venugopal. The Comptroller and Auditor General of India. The President appoints Comptroller and Auditor General of India. The function of CAG is auditing that find out whether the expenditure done by the government is correct or not. At present, Comptroller and Auditor General of India is Rajiv Maharishi. The Chairman and the members of the Union Public Service Commission, the Chairman and members of the Niti Aayog, earlier called Planning Commission, the Chairman and members of the Economic Commission whenever appointed. The President also appoints the Chairman and members of UPSC, Economic Commission and Niti Aayog, earlier called Planning Commission, but all these appointments are done by the advice of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. The administration of the Union territories and the border areas is the responsibility of the President. The Union territories are administrative by the President through an administrator who is appointed by him with a suitable designation, and also President administers the border areas with the advice of the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. The President has the power of directing, coordinating and controlling the state government, and the governors of Assam and Nagaland act as his agents to look after the administration of the tribal areas. President has the power of directing, controlling the state government when he deems that the constitutional machinery break down in the state, and also governors of Assam and Nagaland act as his agents, or we can say that representatives of the President of India. They are appointed by the President of India. They look after the administration of the tribal areas. The President can make rules and issues orders for the smooth functioning of the government. The President can make rules and issues orders, but with the advice of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers for the smooth functioning of the government. All the Union Ministers are individually responsible to the President and hold office during the pleasure of the President. They can be removed from office by the President on the advice and recommendation of the Prime Minister. All the Union Ministers are collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha, but they are individually responsible to the President and hold their office during the pleasure of the President. The Union Minister can remove from office by President on the advice and recommendation of the Prime Minister. The legislative powers. The President of India is an integral part of the Parliament, which consists of the President of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The President of India has vast legislative powers, which are enumerated below. The President of India has vast legislative powers, which means law-making powers. President is an integral part of the Parliament, which consists of President, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So President is also the main part of the Parliament, because no bill can become an act without his assent. So regarding this, the first session of the Parliament after each general elections to the Lok Sabha and the first session of each year is addressed by the President, in which he lays emphasis on the internal and external policies of the government. He can address the Parliament at the commencement of the first session after each general elections and the first session of each year. He can summon or prorogue either house of the Parliament. He can summon or prorogue the Parliament. Summon means starting of session and prorogue means ending of the session. So both these powers lies with the President. He can dissolve the Lok Sabha and order fresh elections. The President has the power to dissolve Lok Sabha, but on the advice of the Council of Ministers, and can order for the fresh general elections. He can address a joint session of the Parliament or each one of the houses separately. If a bill has been rejected by any house of the Parliament and if more than 6 months have elapsed, the President can summon a joint session of the Parliament for the purpose of passing the bill. The bill is passed by a simple majority of a joint sitting. The Lok Sabha has an advantage because of its superior strength. He can also summon a joint sitting of both the houses of the Parliament if there is deadlock regarding any bill. The bill is passed by simple majority of a joint sitting. But here again, Lok Sabha has an upper hand because of its strength. He nominates 12 members to the Rajya Sabha and also 2 members to the Lok Sabha to represent the Anglo-Indian community in India if none of its members gets a seat in the Lok Sabha. The President can nominate 12 members of the Rajya Sabha who are excelled in art, literature, science, etc. and also nominates 2 members of the Lok Sabha from the Anglo-Indian community if none of its members gets a seat in the Lok Sabha. He can send messages to either house of the parliament. The parliament may send messages to either house of the parliament, whether with respect to a bill then pending in parliament. He is an integral part of the parliament, therefore no bill passed by the both houses of the parliament can become a law unless he signs it. The President may give his assent or withhold the bill or send it back to the House for reconsideration with his suggestions or recommendations. However, if the bill is passed again with or without his suggestion, the President has to give his assent. The President has no choice in case of a money bill. He has to sign it. President has more legislative powers like his prior recommendations or permission is needed to introduce certain types of bills in the parliament. Like if money bill has to introduce in the parliament, then prior permission of the president is must. He issues ordinances when the parliament is not in session. An ordinance is a temporary law promulgated at a time when both the houses of the parliament are not in session. If the parliament does not approve the ordinance within 6 weeks from the date it reassembles, the ordinance will lapse. He can issue ordinances. Ordinance means a temporary law promulgates at a time when both the houses of the parliament are not in session. Because any bill can be passed by the both houses, so in this condition, if it is urgent to make a law when parliament is not in session, then president can issue ordinance, and this ordinance can also issue with the advice of the prime minister and council of ministers. So the real power regarding this vested in the hands of prime minister and council of ministers. This ordinance cannot be used for the amendment of the constitution. A bill for the formation of new states or alteration of areas of the existing states cannot be introduced except on the recommendation of the president. The prior recommendation of the president is also required in the case of the formation of new states or alteration or changes of the areas of the existing states. The governor may reserve and send a bill passed by the state legislature for consideration of the president. The president can refuse his assent or give his assent or can also send it back for reconsideration. When a bill has been passed by the state legislature, it shall be presented to the governor. He reserves the bill for the consideration of the president. The president can give his assent or can also send it back for reconsideration. Now, financial powers. Our president has been given vast financial powers also. Some of the most important powers in this regard are given below. First, he causes the annual financial statement to be laid before the parliament in the beginning of every financial year. President has been given vast financial powers also, like he caused to be laid before the parliament the annual financial statement, that is union budget. This work has been done by finance minister. He causes the annual budget and the supplementary budget to be laid before the parliament. He causes the annual budget and the supplementary budget. Supplementary budget means it is the request for additional funds by ministries and departments during the course of year. Both the budgets to be laid before the parliament by president. No money bill can be introduced in the parliament without his prior assent. As we have already discussed about the money bill, that it can be introduced in the parliament only with the prior recommendation of the president. He distributes the shares of the income tax received between the union and the states. President appoints Finance Commission after every 5 years who helps in distributing the shares of the income tax received between the union and states. Now, judicial powers. The president has been given a number of powers in the judicial sphere also. He is not answerable before any court or of law for the discharge of his duties. No criminal suit can be initiated against him during his tenure of office. He has the power to grant pardon, to remit, means cancel, or suspend a sentence of punishment on any appeal for mercy. He can commute, means lessen, even death sentence to imprisonment for life or otherwise in respect of an offender who has been sentenced to death by the Supreme Court. The President has the power to appoint the judges of the Supreme Court, High Court. He can remove a judge if he receives an address to that effect from both houses of the Parliament. He can also transfer High Court judges. The President has the power to pardon, remit, suspend and commute sentences of convicted person. But the President is not answerable before any court for discharge his duties and no criminal suit can be initiated against him during his tenure. Thank you.